I hear a little creature somewhere around here.
God, do y'all hear that?
This sound, I have no clue what it is. I never heard it before in my life.
This region lies in the Great Basin Sierra Nevada Transition Zone, where various Paiute and Shoshone groups roamed and used this landscape resources for thousands of years.
Driven X Adventure is the kind of explorer who seems built for the wilderness. He spends most of his time wandering through the deserts of Nevada, California, Utah, and Arizona, always searching for the strange and the extraordinary hidden out there. And in places that empty, silence is never just silence. Sometimes, it hides things you don't expect. During one of his trips through Nevada, while studying a set of rocky formations, everything felt normal. Dry air, open desert, absolute calm. Until it wasn't. Out of nowhere, something broke the silence. A strange sound echoing across the rocks. A sound that shouldn't exist in a place like that. Let's take a look.
Look at this rock. Crazy. Looks like it to be rough, and it's not. It's actually smooth. Something lays down underneath that rock. Feels good in the shadow, but as soon as you get in that sun, oh, it's hot. I hear a little creature somewhere around here.
While he was studying the rock formation and trying to shield himself from the burning sun, his microphone suddenly picked up something different. A sound that didn't belong there. A faint noise, so subtle he couldn't tell if it came from far away or from right behind him. But it was enough to snap him into full alert, listening for every tiny movement around him. Let's continue.
Holy crap, that sounds weird. Sounds like it's in the rock. Oh, you know what it is? Listen to this. These are all bats. I found the bat cave. See how you investigate something? Ugh. You hear a sound and you go, what the hell is that sound? Well, you look into it. And you find a massive amount of bats inside this cave, this little crevice right here, all the way up.
I had no idea it was even possible for that many bats to squeeze into such a tiny crack in a rock, especially out in the middle of the desert. They probably sensed his presence and started getting restless. Otherwise, none of us would have ever heard a sound like this in the middle of absolute nowhere. Tell me, have you ever heard an entire colony of bats singing at the same time? Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with a friend who loves this kind of content. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. It's free, and it truly helps the channel grow, especially since more than 90% of viewers aren't subscribed yet. Also, tap the bell icon so YouTube actually notifies you whenever I upload something new. All right, back to the video. We're heading deep into a frozen forest in Finland, where a young man, out for a quiet walk through the fresh snow, suddenly heard a strange sound. Something completely unnatural. A noise that didn't belong in a silent winter forest. And when that chill ran down his spine, he pulled out his phone and hit record. Let's take a look at what he captured.
Mitä? Mistä vitusta toi ääni tulee? Mitä vittua? Mitä vittua? Häh?
The clip is short, but the sound comes through incredibly clear, and it's obvious it wasn't made by any animal. There's a metallic tone to it, and at the end it snaps with a sharp crack, almost as if something was forced out of place. I kept thinking about what it could be, but every logical explanation falls apart fast, leaving only strange, almost sci-fi scenarios. The only real-world thing that might produce a noise like that is a huge sheet of metal bending. But out here in the middle of a Finnish forest? How likely is that? In the end, this encounter remains a mystery. And we have a few more coming up. So tell me, what do you think that sound was? Now we're moving into a forest in Wisconsin, right on Thanksgiving Day, where Jesse, an experienced hunter, was out on a quiet hunt. Everything was calm, until he heard a sound he couldn't recognize at all. And considering Jesse knows these woods, and the wildlife that lives in them, better than most people, that makes this moment even stranger. Let's take a look at what he captured.
I heard this sound. I have no clue what it is. I never heard it before in my life. Did you hear that? I'm supposed to be deer hunting now. I'm trying to record this sound I'm hearing. That's weird.
This time, I can say the sound does seem to come from an animal. I can't pinpoint exactly which one, but it feels more natural, like a muffled cry, maybe from something injured, or a call reaching out for a mate. It's somewhat close to a bear's roar, but what truly unsettles me is that Jesse doesn't recognize it. And for someone who's spent countless hours in the wilderness, with instincts sharpened by experience, he would have known instantly if it were a bear. That alone makes this sound far more disturbing. Glenn is a devoted Canadian outdoorsman, so passionate about nature that he built himself a small cabin deep in the woods, a quiet refuge where he can live in harmony with the wild. Most of the time, he documents his life there in the vlog-style videos he uploads to his channel, Cabin Life. In one of these videos, after finishing his usual daily chores, Glenn decides to take a moment to relax by the lakeshore nearby, enjoying the calm air and the stillness of the water. But that peace is shattered almost instantly by a strange sound coming from the nearby. Let's take a look at what happened next.
Hello?
Glenn tried to investigate the sound, but he didn't find any animals nearby. He believes it could have been a moose, or even a bear, and honestly, that seems like a reasonable possibility. But heading into the woods alone, without knowing what made that noise, could have put him in real danger if a bear had actually been lurking there. The forest around his cabin is full of wildlife, something Glenn has proven many times with the footage from his trail cameras. So this time, I'm glad he made it back safely, even if the scare was probably one he won't forget anytime soon. And since we were just talking about strange, almost sci-fi sounds, this next clip takes things even further. Somewhere in the United States, a young man living near a forest heard a bizarre noise, something completely unnatural, echoing from the trees. So he grabbed his flashlight and stepped into the darkness, determined to find the source. But what his phone ended up capturing is anything but natural. Let's take a look. Now that you've heard the sound, pause for a second and tell me what you think it is. I have a theory. Even though we can't see the source on camera, the noise is almost identical to a metal detector, especially since it grows stronger the closer it gets to that small statue, which appears to be made of metal. The second possibility drifts into the sci-fi realm, a signal from something. Not quite human, maybe even a craft preparing to take him. But you tell me, what do you think that sound was? The next and final clip in this compilation of strange sounds comes from the US. Two friends, out for a relaxing walk through a quiet forest, suddenly hear something unusual echoing through the trees. Curious, they pull out a phone and start recording. Let's take a look at what they captured.
God, do y'all hear that? What the hell is that? Guys, we're out here on our latest adventure, just walking through the woods, and all of a sudden these weird screeching noises just came out of nowhere. We don't know what the heck it is. I think we found some ghost.
I don't think this is anything paranormal, but the sound does feel like it's coming from somewhere near the edge of the forest. Maybe from a clearing, or a spot where the trees thin out. It actually reminds me of music, almost like someone playing a wind instrument, a flute, maybe even bagpipes. There's a tone to it that feels oddly melodic, but that's just my interpretation. So I'm curious, what do you hear? Does it sound musical to you, or is it just as unrecognizable? Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with a friend who loves this kind of content. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. It's free, and it truly helps the channel grow, especially since more than 90% of viewers aren't subscribed yet. Also, tap the bell icon so YouTube actually notifies you whenever I upload something new.